So we start. So hello, dear friends, and we can start. Игорь, стартуем? Okay. So, dear friends and dear friends, we are really so happy to see you again, and we are really happy to talk today about MIL Cities, so Media and Information Literacy City. With great pleasure, I would like to introduce my wonderful partner in this project and in this UNESCO initiative, Professor Filipa Chibos Ortiz from São Paulo. And of course, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Veronica Yarnik, and I'm Associate Professor in Russian State University for Humanities, and I'm the leader of UNESCO initiative MIL Cities. So, Filipa, we are streaming. We are in live stream, and now let's talk. So, please.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Veronica. I am really happy to be here and we sharing knowledge, informations, and cases about this point, this very important point. Thank you so much.
Great. So, last our lighting talk was about MIL city approach. We spoke with Filipa 3 weeks ago about media and information literacy city. We spoke about this approach. We spoke about the opportunities for developing of urban media space. We decided to talk today about MIL city metrics and indicators. So approach, it's wonderful, of course, but for everybody, it's very interesting and useful to understand how to evaluate urban media space, how to evaluate their own city, and at least how to develop the modern cities. So today we decided to talk about very concrete and very exact things. Everything what I like, honestly saying. And today we will speak about exact metrics and indicators in the MIL city approach. I think that it's better today to talk with Filipa in such way. So I suggest Filipa to talk and to tell and to speak about different groups of indicators and different groups of metrics. And after the discussion and after the presentation, one group, I would like to add maybe something thoughts, maybe something metrics, maybe something ideas about these group metrics. So I think that Felipe, you can start.
Right. Thank you so much. I have a presentation about these topics. I will sharing with you and with the telespectators. Can see?
Yes, we see.
All right.
Let's start.
Let's go. The MIL cities is very the indicators of MIL cities are very similar to indicators for smart cities, but the vision, the difference is the vision and the looks about the city. What is the principal point of the MIL cities? MIL cities is a framework developed by UNESCO, our urban space that can use artificial intelligence and other new technologies, but with ethic, respect for diversities, empowerment of every citizen. Very important point this. Educating critical and creating creative thinking, valuing ecology and sustainable way, new affectivity of the city, and combating misinformation, fake news, deep fakes, and post-truths. The framework, this framework, includes others such as smart cities, healthy cities, educational cities, creative cities, innovation cities. And these models, all models have synergies, many synergies. Let's continue. Main city indicators. This slide is very important because show the relationship with the citizens, with all the city and and others stakeholders. The focus in the model of the MIL city matrix or MIL cities are the citizens in the beginning and the last point, the last phase. That's the difference of the MIL cities with other models of the cities. Uh, uh, mm, let's show. Let's show that. The principal metrics, excuse me, the principal indicators are city hall, roads, urbanism and transport models, education, health, culture and sport, tourism and leisure, libraries, associations, unions in go, sociocultural projects, media and communication channels, night, artificial intelligence, startups and digital channels, 11, children, youth, elderly, women, and others, people, special people, or vulnerable groups, environment and sustainability, and the final indicator, integrations metrics. This is the metrics, how the indicators are one integration. Boom. Let's see MIL city metrics, but some examples of metrics. Uh, City hall management, the first. City hall management. City hall management is about to government, but the government to citizens, and include a governance, participatory management or participatory management. Yes, yes, and legislation about this. Let's see other examples. The city adopts examples of metrics. The city adopts the five media and information literacy laws as the basis for MIL's innovation actions. It's a question. Other metrics. How many employees are trained in MIL? Another. How many programs have the City Hall of Social Innovation? Uh, it's not the vision of the city and the city hall management is different here. It's not the vision, the traditional vision. If, for example, in the traditional vision or in the small city vision, we have in this indicator and in these different metrics, the focus here is the citizen. Yeah, but other indicator, the indicator education, art, and culture. Example: how many educational applications are focused in critical thinking? That is very important. But this vision is different to smart cities, for example. Eh? Another indicator, health service. Well, example of metrics. How many campaigns focused on meal as a tool to understand the resist infodemics, misinformation, and fake news, and about health. We have in this moment many people died about this because we have many people to believe in fake news about your health, about the treatment, about the hospitals. This point is very important. Oh, other point: how many employees are training in MIL? Employees in the health, because these people, doctors, nurses, and others, are very important to combat the fake news, health fake news. Well, other example. Let me show you other example of indicators and metrics. For example, here, artificial intelligence, very important.
Okay, Felipe, let's we go step by step, and
Right.
let's we go not only by step, but also let's discuss the any group of these metrics.
Okay. Okay.
Again, yes, let's and step by step. Okay, so could you be so kind to close your presentation, because I would like to add
Right.
some things. Okay, wonderful. So as we spoke 2 weeks ago, together with Felipe, we talk about MIL city approach. And we talked that, first of all, it's absolutely complex and integrated approach, which connects with different sectors of urban space. And
Yeah.
we spoke with Filipa that it's necessary and it's very important to understand how to evaluate the level of the development of urban space, and how to understand in what way can we go later and further. So I would like to find another. So the group city government or city hall, as Philippa told us. I would like to add, maybe it's also very important, but before my suggestion, I would like to say the following things, that when we speak about media and information literacy in the urban space, we must understand that we speak about media and information urban space from one side, and we speak about connection space in the city. So in this case, and as infodemic of COVID-19 showed us, I think that also when we speak about digital urban space and the work of city hall or city government in the digital space, it's necessary to tell and to speak also about three additional indicators. Or metrics. The first is city services in digital format. In Moscow, for example, we have many services in digital format. I'm sorry. So we can get the government service or the city services through our smartphone. Of course, we also could get it and can get it in the special services centers, of course, but it seems to me that it's very important when we speak about media and information literacy and when we speak about digital space in our city, it's necessary to understand what city services we can get in digital format. So the answer is yes or no from one side. The second thing, it seems to me that it's necessary to speak now when we speak about media and information literacy city. It's necessary to speak about the implementation of digital city services in our life. And when we speak about implementation or the level of implementation of city services in our life, we can speak about the coefficient of implementation digital city services. So it's the comparison of number of digital city services to all city services. So what amount or what quantity of all city services we have in the digital format. And of course, then the following metric, it's the number of new digital services in 1 year. So it's also show the implementation and the level of implementation of the services in the digital format in the citizen's life practically. How many new digital services we can get during this budget period, for example, or this period in the year, so on and so forth. So it seems to me when we speak about the first group of metrics, when we speak about city hall, the work of city hall or the work of city government, it's necessary to speak also about the level of services in digital format. So there is the idea, which it seems to me serious and interesting. Okay, so Filippo, what do you think about it from one side? And let's go ahead and show, please, your presentation. So the different group of metrics. Okay.
Okay. But I want
Mm-hmm.
to talk about your presentation too.
Okay.
I agree with you with the metrics and your vision of this indicator, city hall management or city hall administration.
Okay.
I agree with you. I agree with you with your vision. I have in my presentation the word a governance. I include this point, your point
Okay.
in this metric or in this indicator and metrics. But for me, like you, I think the principal thing is the citizen, and this a governance is for the citizen, the real transformation of the life of the citizen, quality of life, and efficiency, and other points. That's my opinion.
Great. I agree with you that the city it's the space for the citizens for their life and for their comfort as minimum. And it seems to me that it's the direction for development because when any citizen can get the city services with the communication with bank, with the communication of city hall administration, practically sitting on the sofa with with its smartphone. I think it's comfortable and convenient thing for the citizen. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's see another group of metrics. Show us, please, Philippa.
Yes. Of course. Let me show you. Oh,
Yeah,
please.
great. Yep,
Excuse me. Excuse me. Let me show you.
yep. So we go. Go ahead and great.
Go.
We see.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yes,
Thank you.
let's
Thank you so
speak
much.
about
Thank you so much,
following group of
Veronica.
metric.
Veronica. And it's very important too in this indicator talk about the training of employees, in my opinion, uh,
Agree.
in MIL too. But let's go ahead. MIL cities indicator metrics and actions.
Okay,
We talk about others indicators. For example, the role of media and communication agencies and marketing agencies. I propose how
mhm,
many special or number the supplements related to milk about minorities, for example, and fake news, critical thinking, to existing programming. The city have this. This is very important. It's not, for example, marketing agencies. We have many marketing agencies. This is not the point. The point is how many or what is the number the marketing agencies to approach of this, to speak about this. Other indicator, artificial intelligence for robots, satellites, startups, and digital channels, platforms, but it's not the number, it's not the statistic. No. The point is quantity and a percentage of technologies take advantage of the health, culture, and education of the citizens. That's the point. The citizens. Example, how many companies, startups, software, platforms, and etc. Uh, are against fake news, prejudice, cultural barriers the city has? How many? That's the point. In other indicator, safety, a planning of practical actions related to this point involving citizens' participation. The point again, the citizen and your participation in the planning. It's not the number, it's the involved, the citizen. That's the point, the principal point. Other indicator, urban city planning, priorized new modes of transport. This is very important point too. Uh, we have many smart cities with cars, with new cars, new metros, and new subways. But this is not the point. The point is the how the citizen approve or not these these new modes. How the citizens are involved in this process of the transformation of the city. That's my opinion about the smart cities in the comparative with mild cities.
great. I agree with you. In this case, it's also seems to me that it's very important to understand in what environment as a citizens we live, of course, because the transportation lines, the opportunity to go when the opportunity to go from the center of city to the borders of the city, for example. And it's also about comfort and convenient life for the citizens. I agree with you that it's very important sector, the transportation sector, for media and information literacy city. Also, I would like to highlight and to underline that MIL cities this approach. It's about several sectors which are very complex, which are very closely connects and transferring in each other. And these different sectors shows practically the one of the approach and understanding what is media and information literacy. As I said at the beginning of our lighting talk, I told that media and information literacy city, it's about media and information urban space. And practically, it's necessary to understand that, as I told my students practically yesterday, that we live in two different realities, which are absolutely real for us. We live in real reality, as practically just now when you are in Sao Paulo and I'm in Moscow physically. In Sao Paulo, it's plus 25. In Moscow, now it's minus 12, by the way. But it's our real reality. But also together with Felipe, we are in our virtual reality. And practically, we are on the Zoom platform practically in the same time, we are in YouTube channel and we are in Facebook streaming. But it's our reality. We live in different realities and we work in different realities. So our cities are also practically now are in different realities with their citizens. And of course, I think that this approach, media and information literacy approach, can gather all these realities, maybe in platform, maybe in education centers, maybe somewhere else. But nevertheless, it's the opportunity for city to gather and to complete all these our modern realities in one point, which is very comfortable for the citizen. I think it's important. But of course, I agree with you also that we have the problems in our cities. We have the problems with fake news. We have the problems with critical thinking, of course. We have the problems and the challenges about the digital security, for example. So it's necessary to understand how it works. Okay, so now let's think about the following things. And as we say that the concept of these talks are the lightning talk. So we highlight and mm, underline the very short and very exact things. So in this case, I would like to show my additions to another group of metrics. Okay, yes, Philippa, I try to do it. Yes, and we can speak also about it. So we spoke with you about the group about city hall administration or city government. So also I would like to speak about another group. I would like to speak about two groups of metrics and two groups of indicators. I would like to speak about education and I would like to speak about media. So uh, as our professional interests are in the sector of media education. So let's gather it in one point. So in this case, I would like to add the following thing. The first one, it's about the coefficient of infiltration of MIL or Media and Information Literacy in the formal education. Uh, you know that in this group of metrics which you suggested with UNESCO and with the partners. You told about formal education and informal education, of course. But in this case, when we also speak about the level of infiltration of media and information literacy in the citizen's life and in the city space and in the urban space, it's more exact thing, it seems to me. So we can speak about the number of education organizations according to the levels, of course, where we can find the MIL courses to or in compare with the total number of education organizations in the city. So this coefficient or this number shows us the percentage or the level of infiltration, the media and information literacy in the formal education. So that, of course, we can speak about the levels of education, primary, secondary, and tertiary levels, because we speak about the formal education. But hearing you, I would like to also to underline, of course, the such metric as the number of training courses about media and information literacy, because we know together that training courses are not only in the formal education, it's also informal education, the post-education centers, so on and so forth. And in this case, I agree with you, Felipe, of course, when we speak about the startups and entrepreneurs, because the training centers in this sector of the of all urban education space, of course, it's also necessary to highlight also the number of training course. These training course, of course, it's not the formal education, it's informal education, but agree with you that it's necessary to calculate and it's necessary to speak about it. And the second, so okay, let's we go in such variant. What do you think about it, Felipe?
In my opinion, you are totally in our syntony and synergy what our ideas. I think like you clarified this point or this indicator, education indicator. Uh, in my opinion, is very important your your contribution. Of course, I agree, and I like to say how many or the number of educational applications and platforms, uh, but focused in critical thinking and, for example, to combat to combat post-truth. Post-truth is about the radical thinking we have in the world and in the cities.
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree with you. Of course, agree with you, and also agree with you about the number of different applications and platform. Of course, because we know together with you that the direction of development mobile applications and mobile platform, it's the trend of last year and it's the trend of the development of communication this year. It's a very strong it's very strong trend. It's not the tendency, it's trend, and of course it's necessary to speak also about it. Maybe it's necessary to add the number of application of mobile I would like to underline mobile applications and mobile platforms for education, for example, and with media or without media and information literacy courses. But I think that it's necessary to add this indicator and underline the necessity to understand how we communicate in this education, or in this urban education space with our citizens and with our children and with our youth, how we communicate in the mobile sphere. Agree with you. Also, I would like to speak, and I would like to highlight practically the another group of metrics. It's about media. As a professionals in the media sector and in media education, I would like to say, and I would like to add maybe two metrics. The first metric, it's about the infiltration of transmedia. It's new approach, not very newest approach, of course, but it's rather new approach. When we say about the transferring from one type of media to another, because I can say in whisper that practically now, practically in the parallel of our lightning talk, we have the chat with Felipe and with our friends and colleagues in WhatsApp and in the Zoom. So it's absolutely normal thing. We live in transmedia world. We transfer and we go from one media platform to another media platform practically at the same time. So it seems to me that it's necessary to speak about the infiltration of transmedia in the urban media space. And the metric, it's or the calculating of this coefficient, it's about the number of media in digital format to all number of city media, not federal, for example, and really and regional and municipal city media, but we speak only about all the total number of city media in a whole. And also we can see how many medias are in the digital format in different ways. In PDF format, for example, through mobile application, through websites, through platforms in this convergent way practically. And also on the second metric, which it seems to me that it's very important, it's the number of reputation cases during 1 year in media urban space. I would like to highlight this number or this metric because it seems to me that this metric shows us two directions. The first direction, it's about fake news and disinformation because all these reputation cases with the media information, it's about how we use fact checking. I'm sorry, but it's a very boring thing. We know it. Each of us know that it's very boring thing, and we make fact checking not usually, honestly saying in whisper, of course. But nevertheless, I think that this number and this metric shows us two directions. The first one, it's about the fake news, disinformation of media, and another, it's about the intercultural communications in in the city or in urban media space because it's not the direct number or direct metric, but it's the not direct non-direct metric about the information wars and media influence in the urban media space. What do you think about it?
I agree with you, Veronica. And I like to speak about another point. For example, we have here two cities, the digital cities and physical cities. With but this space are mixed. We have a blended life. I agree with you. We have a blended life, and we need for this other skills for the students in the formal education and in the informal education too. And we need, of course, other vision of the cities. In my opinion, this is the more important thing about MIL cities. We need other cities. We need other skills to grow in the cities. And this point is important because it's about all the city, all stakeholders. It's not only for education, for example. No, it's for everybody. We need other looks of the cities, and we need with education show that with of course with platforms, digital platforms, application, but in the contact face to face too. It's very important integrate city, uh, digital city with the physical city. This point is other point important in the mile cities. Mile city, this is about this, the integration of stakeholders, integration of digital city, and with physical city, and the integration of other visions of the city. It's important, like you said, intercultural or multicultural vision of the city is very important. It's very important to combat fake news, post-truth. Post-truth is very important too, because post-truth is the cause of the radical think. We need integration. We need dialogue. Dialogue is fundamental. Multicultural dialogue and political dialogue too, and others forms of dialogues. But that's my opinion about about your question. I answer you.
Yeah, surely. I agree with you. It's really so. I think that this approach it's really about integrated, about into how to integrate the two realities in which we really live and live just now. So how to integrate it, how to complete it, and how to gather all these with all these different things. Agree with you, Philippe, absolutely. So, the second question, which we would like to highlight today during our lightning talk, it's about the applying of these metrics. So, we showed you, together with Philippe, different groups of metrics, how to evaluate practically every city according to the Media and Information Literacy City project or initiative. Yes, so let's talk, Philippa, with you about the opportunities, how to apply these metrics and how to apply this evaluation in the city life or in the practically in the government and in the city management. It seems to me that it's more exact expression how to apply to the city management. What do you think about it?
Veronica, it's very complex problem. It's a challenge. It's not easy.
Agree with you.
The situation. But we have highlights about this this situation. In my opinion, it's very important. Got a plane with phases for to implement this idea or this utopic idea for mile cities, my isle cities. It's important for this implementation. It's important to discussion with all stakeholders. It's important to the diagnosis. We need a diagnosis with this metric or indicators. It's very important. We need to know what is the situation of my city. Uh, you talk about Moscow. I talk about Sao Paulo, but but we have, of course, difference, and we have semblance. We have common points, of course, but we need a diagnosis of Moscow, and we need a diagnosis of Sao Paulo or Havana or in Mexico and other cities, Seoul, for example. We need the diagnosis, and before or after, we need other discussion with the citizens, other stakeholders, like for example, universities, schools, uh, um, innovation people, startups, enterprise companies, artists. I said artists because the artists have a other vision of the city. They think the city of the other form. He 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 they have imagination. The academic people or people of the enterprise startups have other focus, but the artists have soul, have other vision, with imagination, with emotion, with affection. This is important too, to deconstruct and build a new bridges and new cities. Uh, it's important too, the discussion, for example, with every citizen, every citizen, and the platforms, digital platforms, must be show this way. We have something examples for this. For example, in Tallinn, we have a governance, installed a governance, implement a governance, but a governance to hear the citizens. This is very important. It's not only we have platforms, we have applications, we have, okay, it's wonderful, but we need these applications, these digital platforms in function, focus in the citizen and the needs of the citizens.
You artist, of course, Felipe. I know it. Yes,
You
because
know, you know
you have
that.
so emotional speech
I am a
about
poet
it.
of life. I am a poet.
Yes, yes, I know it. I would like to underline the following thing. Of course, I agree with you. But for example, in Moscow, we have such mobile application, which the title is the active citizen. So in this mobile application, everybody can send the feedback to the city government. If somebody sees, for example, some problems on the road or some problems with the cars which are not on the necessary place near the entrance, for example, or something else, or some problems on the road, or some problems with mm, um, some building and for example in different ways, but nevertheless, so this mobile application, it's the feedback from citizens to the city government with questions, with some negative feedback, for example, so on and so forth. And I would like to underline it that our city government react very shortly and very strongly. And so it's a real feedback tool between Moscovites and Moscow City Hall or Moscow City Government. So it's working. Of course, it's working in digital way, and it's very good sample from my side. I think it's very good sample of such feedback. If we speak seriously, not only about poetry and not only about theater, yes, about very boring things about management. I'm very boring person. I'm manager, and so I speak about numbers, honestly saying. Let's, okay, yes,
I,
Philippa.
I want to ask you, I would like to ask you,
Mhm.
write, please, write an article about your speech.
Surely, I
I like
agree.
so much.
Yes, I
Please,
will do
write.
it. And I think that we can do it together as the introduction to our mutual issue, the special issue, after the Congress, which Felipe organized some time ago. So, of course, I will write it, and of course, I will be happy to write it also in the article. But nevertheless, let's discuss the last thing today, and let's discuss about following. So we spoke about metrics. We spoke about exact numbers, metrics. So we spoke about the very exact things and about evaluation. So, what do you think about not only about application or if no, 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 not application, about applying? So, how to apply these things from one side through mobile platforms and from mobile applications. Okay, it's the first way. The second way, I think, that it's the way of increasing the number of experts because I
Okay.
think that the experts in media and information literacy, uh, such experts
For
are
video.
not only educators and not only professors and not only, I don't know, city administrators, of course, but the expert in media and information literacy city could be practically any person, educator of any level, student, active citizen, simply active citizen who knows about this approach and who uses this approach, start-uppers, for example, so on and so forth. So in this way, I think that it's very important to underline and to speak about the opportunities for increasing and developing this approach in the educational sphere. And I think that it's necessary to speak about the special training course about the developing of this media and information literacy city approach. It's
Uh,
about the highlighting. Yes, Philippa, please. We have some seconds
no, no,
between the
no,
speeches.
no problem.
Okay.
I am totally agree with you. Totally. We have many people today speak to speak about mile city or mile about mile approach with,
Mm-hmm.
without knowledge. I feel that.
Agree.
I feel we need experts, like you
Mm-hmm.
said. We need a school, my IL school. We need course about these points because we have many people talking. Let's go. Let's do something. something about MIL. No, it's necessary first knowledge, information, and integration of the information and knowledge too. And for this reason, it's very important the Congress, the seventh edition of our Congress about MIL cities, the Congress, culture, communication, marketing, and community. The seventh edition of this of this Congress, because the discussion with people with knowledge is very important. And in the second time, in the second phase, we can do in actions, in plans, on the implementation of the mill city models, for example. But we need to, for example, influencers. But this is the second phase or the second step. We need first knowledge, information, cases, best practice. We talk about this in the Congress, for example, and we talk about this in the yesterday with a meeting with UNESCO Mexico. It's necessary this discussion, these debates, for example, it's very important to clarify the way to implementation of this model of this approach. That's my opinion.
Great, agree with you. So, underlining this part of our discussion, I would like to say that the first direction of the developing of media and information literacy city and metrics. So the first direction it's about tools and technologies in the application, in the platform, so on and so forth. So the second direction, it's about knowledge management practically, and it's about training. And the third direction, as as I see, it's the implementation and it's the developing of event platform because it's necessary for us for the developing of this idea. It's necessary to create the information space, not only in our cities, but also in the international level to create the event platform or I don't know, information space where people could find metrics, indicators, some advices about implementation of all these things. So we have three different directions, as I think. And these directions, it's practically the plan of work and practically the plan for our um, following discussions, it seems to me. So, in this way, I think that I can promote that our next lightning talk will be the talk with experts and with
Right.
influencers in this theme, and we will highlight and underline the questions and the subjects about media and information literacy. And we will speak with different experts, influencers about their involving practically in the developing of this idea. Okay, so now let's practically finishing our lightning talk. Let's practically in one or two sentences tell our viewers, Philippa, uh, okay, we understand what city we have now, but let's practically in two sentences um, to tell our viewers what are the cities we want?
Well, in short words, in a little paragraph, in my opinion, we need sustainable cities. We need cities with hope. We need hope, up to life, up to change, with the participation of all. Not a light, no, not a minority. No, no, no. Everybody. We need citizens, citizens too. Cities and citizens with opinion, citizens with soul, citizens with decisions, but decisions and decisions with with knowledge, with education. We need, in my opinion, too, cities with scientists. Scientists is very important to develop it, or to develop of the city or the countries. We need that, especially in the pandemic situation. We need these people, scientific thinking, but it's not necessary only scientists have this kind of thinking. No, everybody, because we have critical thinking, we have scientific thinking. You can see a fake news, and you combat you. It's not the platform or the government, or no, no, no. Everybody, every citizen can see a fake news, big fake, or post truth, and we, we, everybody, we can say no. This is false. This is not true, and this is very important to everything, for a infodemic, for a pandemic, or every situation. And that's, in my opinion, that's the city. We need this city.
Great. Um, so speaking about future, I think that we need comfortable, convenient, and safe cities for life. I think, and also I think that we need very active city, active from the side of citizens and active from the side of governments. And the third thing that I would like to say, I think that we need very integrated cities because as we highlight today and as we highlighted 2 weeks ago when we had our first lighting talk, mm, I think that any city or any urban space consists of different sectors, and the value of all these sectors are practically the same and very important. And I think that if we speak with corporate sector, media sector, education sector, startup sector, building sector, constructing sector, I don't know, government sector, by the way.
Yeah.
So in all these cases, it's necessary to integrate all these viewers and points of views. It's necessary to integrate the approaches. It's necessary to integrate the ideas and the results. And I think that this approach as media and information literacy city, it's possible. It's one of the ways, of course, but it's very constructive way, it seems to me, and it's a very optimistic way.
Me too.
Also, yes, agree with you. Also in the pandemic situation and also in the infodemic situation. So, and at the end of our lightning talk, I would like to remember all our viewers that it would be wonderful if you submit our Facebook page and if you submit our YouTube channel. And also, I would like to say that we have the questionnaire and survey about the media and information literacy city. You can find the link on this survey on the Facebook page, I think. Yes, Philippa. So
Yes, yes, yes.
we will put the link on this survey on the Facebook page. So please, it takes practically 5 minutes for you, but be so kind. Please fulfill this questionnaire. It will be very important for us. And of course, we will be happy to see you again through some time in our lightning talk. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so see you later. Bye.